So let's get right into it. There is this new kind of entertainment. It's just blowing up everywhere. And honestly, it feels like it was made for people like us who can't seem to focus for more than a few seconds. And that brings up the real question we're tackling today. Is India next? Is this going to be the next big binge watch craze there?
To really get what's happening now, we've got to rewind a bit. Back in the year 2000, believe it or not, the average person could lock in on something for about 12 seconds straight. Now, you might be thinking, 12 seconds? That's not a lot. Oh, but just wait. It gets shorter.
Fast forward to today, and that number has absolutely plummeted. We're talking 8 seconds. Just 8. Yeah, that's officially less than a goldfish's attention span, or so the story goes. Kind of wild, right? So think about it from a creator's perspective. This is a massive headache. If you've only got 8 seconds to hook someone, how on earth do you tell a compelling story? How do you introduce characters, build a world, and make people care? It seems impossible, but it turns out there's a new solution. And that challenge, that problem, it's actually sparked a whole new way of telling stories. A brand new format that's literally taking shape as we speak. I mean, this didn't come out of nowhere, right? You probably remember the beginning of all this. Think back to 2013 with Vine. Those little 6-second videos were a game changer. And even though Vine shut down, that appetite for super short, snackable stuff, it just kept growing. And that's what led us straight to what we're seeing now, the rise of the microdrama.
Okay, so I keep saying microdramas, but what exactly are they? Let's get into it.
Picture this. It's like a mini TV show, but built from the ground up just for your phone. So everything's shot vertically, just like you'd see on Reels or TikTok. Each episode is super short, maybe 1 to 3 minutes max. But here's the trick. Every single minute is just jam-packed with drama. We're talking crazy plot twists, romance, betrayal, the works. And every single episode ends on a wild cliffhanger that basically forces you to tap for the next one. It's really like they took a classic soap opera and mashed it up with your doom-scrolling feed. And when you put it side by side with a regular web series, the difference is just night and day. Forget sitting down for a 40-minute episode on your laptop. This is a quick 2-minute shot of adrenaline right on your phone. You can blast through a whole season in an afternoon, not over a whole week. And for the people making them, it's way, way cheaper and faster to produce. So you've got this format that's cheap to make and, let's be honest, super addictive to watch. What does that lead to? Well, exactly what you'd expect. A complete, full-on, global gold rush. I mean, just take a look at China, where this whole thing really kicked off. The market for these little shows there, it's now worth a staggering $7 billion. So yeah, this isn't some tiny niche thing anymore. It's a full-blown, massive industry. And here's the really wild part. For the first time ever, the money made from microdramas has actually surpassed China's entire box office for the year. Just let that sink in for a second. More cash is flowing into these tiny vertical phone shows than into all the big budget movies hitting the theaters. It's a huge shift. And look, this isn't just happening in China. It's gone global. Apps like ReelShort are blowing up everywhere. In 2024, the top 10 of these apps outside of China raked in $1.7 billion. And about half of that money, it came from viewers in the US. So the formula is clearly working, and it's working across different cultures. So when you see this kind of explosive success in China, and then you see it taking off in the West, well, everybody's asking the same question. Where's the next big prize? And all eyes are turning to one place, India. And when you look at the stats, India seems like a perfect fit. I mean, you've got over 900 million people online. It's a huge audience that lives on their phones and already loves snackable content. Plus, we're seeing this kind of stuff really take off in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, especially with that key audience of women between 25 and 35 who are all about dramatic storylines. On paper, it looks like a slam dunk. And it's not just us saying that. Investors are totally on board. The money is flooding in. Just this year, Indian microdrama startups have pulled in $44 million in VC funding. That's a massive leap from last year. So yeah, the race is definitely on. But, and this is a big but, here's where we hit a snag.
Because, having millions of eyeballs is great, but getting those people to actually pay for something, that's a whole different ballgame. And this, right here, is the big puzzle.
This is literally the billion-dollar question that all the big players are scrambling to figure out. The audience is there. They're hooked. But are they going to pay up? That's the real test.
See, the whole business model that works everywhere else just breaks in India. That freemium idea, where you get a few episodes for free and then have to pay to keep watching, it just runs into a brick wall. Why? Because the Indian audience is super price sensitive. And why pay when you have an endless ocean of free stuff on YouTube and Instagram? You add low ad revenue to that mix, and you start to see why just copy-pasting the strategy from the US or China is a recipe for disaster.
So you've got this really unique situation. The potential is huge, but the path isn't clear at all. For this to work in India, someone's going to have to get creative. You can't just copy. You have to innovate.
So what could that look like? Well, these platforms are probably going to have to throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Maybe it's a hybrid model, right? A little bit of advertising mixed with a really cheap subscription. Or maybe something more clever, like weaving brands right into the storyline. Even things like micropayments, paying a tiny amount for just one episode, or super short subscription plans could be the answer. Something that just feels lighter on the wallet.
And that brings us all the way back to the beginning. That 8-second attention span? Maybe we're looking at it all wrong. Maybe it's not a bug, maybe it's a feature. It's our brain's super efficient filter for cutting through the noise and deciding what's actually worth our time. Microdramas are built to survive that filter. They're designed to pass that initial 8-second test. And what's amazing is, if they pass, they show that we're willing to stay focused for hours. The real cliffhanger here isn't in a show. It's whether anyone in India can crack the code and figure out how to get us to pay for that focus.